These pranks got people arrested, with some sentenced to years in prison. On the morning of July 26, 2023, Florida police get an emergency 911 text. A woman named Lily Lee Combs says she's following a kidnapper's van. She continues to send updates, as multiple police departments join the chase. Police even deploy a helicopter to help find the kidnapper's van. But what police didn't know was, the entire thing was totally fake. After Lily stopped providing updates, police tried to call her.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi. Is this what's your name? Can you hear me? Hello? I'm trying to reach the person that called 911.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Oh, shit, I'm on.
After the call does not help police, they decide to trace the number, which reveals the texter was not on the interstate as they said, but instead in a house in a nearby town. And when police arrived at the house, they made an even more shocking discovery. Lily Lee Combs did not exist at all. Instead, it was all an 11-year-old girl playing a prank. Police and her furious parents confronted her.
I'm telling you this right now, you're going to take this as a lesson at 11 years old, that if you do something stupid in the future, you're going to enjoy those cuffs.
She said she got the idea to prank 911 after seeing an online challenge, and simply thought it would be funny. Despite her tears, she was handcuffed by police. The girl's dad was even more furious than the police, who had wasted time trying to stop a kidnapping that wasn't even real, not to mention the expense of using a police helicopter. The girl apologized, saying she would never do this again.
I'm not gonna do this again.
But she was still arrested and charged with 2 crimes, making a false police report, which is a felony, and misuse of 911, which is a misdemeanor, and she had to spend the night in jail. Some online said the reaction to this was too far, especially given the girl's age, but Florida police say she got what she deserved.
We had a massive police response. What happens if we crash into somebody and somebody loses their life? It's a life-teaching moment for her.
A much more disturbing prank took place in 2024. A man from Arizona went viral after spraying bug killer on food items at a Walmart. He posted the videos to social media, where he was already well known for doing prank videos. This time, however, he took things way too far. The internet was not happy and they wanted justice. Bug spray contains chemicals which are toxic when swallowed. Spraying them on or near food can cause nausea, vomiting, breathing problems, and even life-threatening poisoning. So the internet began working together, finding out who this guy was, which Walmart store he did this in, and eventually informing local police. He was soon identified as 27-year-old Charles Smith. Law enforcement put out a warrant for his arrest, and shortly after, he turned himself in. In the meantime, the Walmart store removed the contaminated fruit, vegetables, and rotisserie chickens, and had to clean the entire area. According to Walmart, they trashed around $930 worth of food, but it's unclear if any shoppers bought the contaminated food. As for Charles Smith, he was indicted on 4 charges, including adding harmful substances to food or drink, burglary, endangerment, and criminal damage. In court, he described himself as a troll who was already well known for controversial pranks. For example, pulling fire alarms in busy buildings, stealing mannequin heads and putting them in fast food fryers, locking people inside buildings, throwing cakes at people, spraying strangers with a fire extinguisher, putting bacon and eggs in people's laundry, and throwing a dead pigeon at a McDonald's employee. Charles was not punished for any of these other pranks, but for the bug spray prank, he was given a year in prison, which many said was far too light, as it's very possible people bought and ate the food he poisoned. But an even more dangerous prank took place in summer of 2018. A group of friends were in the Molten Falls Regional Park, located in Washington, USA. Some were swimming, while others were on top of a 60-foot tall bridge. 2 of the friends on the bridge were 16-year-old Jordan Holgerson and 18-year-old Taylor Smith. Jordan decided to dive off the bridge, as some people like to do, but had second thought at the last moment. But despite Jordan saying no, her friend Taylor decided to prank her by pushing her off the bridge.
3, no, I won't go in. 2.
Well, she's saying no.
No, I just...
Ready?
Leaving Jordan with 6 broken ribs, punctured lungs, and other internal injuries. Taylor was soon arrested for what she did, as the entire thing was caught on camera. In court, Taylor said Jordan wanted to jump but she was scared, and that she had asked for a push. But in the video, Jordan clearly says no. Jordan also said Taylor deserved to go to jail for what she did, even if it was meant as a harmless prank.
All she's been doing is lying and disobeying her probation and everything, so I just don't think she really even cares.
In In court, Taylor said she was sorry. Taylor pled guilty to reckless endangerment. Prosecutors recommended no jail time, but the judge refused, sentencing Taylor to as much time in jail as Jordan spent in hospital, 2 days. Jordan has now made a full recovery, but unsurprisingly, the pair are no longer friends. An even more reckless prank took place in 2020. A man in Morocco placed a table and a chair on a tram track, forcing the tram to stop. The man then sat drinking coffee, all while holding up an entire tram of people. The man posted the video online, and while he did receive many TikTok views, the video was also seen by the local Casablanca police, leading to the 3 men involved being identified and arrested. It's incredibly reckless what the men did. Not only did they hold everyone up, but if the tram didn't stop in time, this man could have been injured or worse. They were found guilty of obstructing public traffic, which is a serious crime in Morocco. The man in the video was sentenced to 3 years in prison, while the other 2 men were given 2 years each. At least the prankster got some small fame from this, but the cameraman got absolutely nothing and had to spend 2 years sitting in prison. Let's hope those TikTok views were worth it. One thing we can all learn from this is, do not mess around with trams in Morocco. But a much more sinister prank took place in France. In 2025, a French social media influencer named Amin Mojito began going viral for a very bizarre type of prank. He would walk up to people and pretend to inject them with a syringe, filming their horrified reactions, as the people believed they had been injected with a substance or even a disease. Unsurprisingly, the videos gained a lot of views, with the reaction being almost entirely negative. How the hell does he think this is okay on any level? This is the same as someone running up to you with a fake gun and firing a blank. In spite of all the hate, Amin Mojito kept making these videos, presumably as they would go viral every time. But on October 3rd, 2025, Paris police finally took action. He was identified as Ilan Magneron. He was arrested and charged for these pranks. The prosecution requested he serve 15 months in jail, but he was only sentenced to 12, 6 of which were later suspended. Unsurprisingly, people were very upset by this, saying that 6 months is nowhere near enough time. In court, Ilhan said he had been in his own world, and that he, quote, didn't know anything. But it doesn't take a genius to understand the emotional damage this prank caused, leaving people terrified and paranoid. Unfortunately, Ilhan is already teasing his return, and will be back making videos by March 2026. Sometimes, pranks don't end with the prankster being arrested, but instead, the person who got pranked. That's what happened in April of 2023. An online prankster named Tanner Kirk was at a mall food court in Washington, D.C. It's unclear exactly what the prank was, but Tanner shoves the phone in a man's face. The phone plays the phrase, "Hey, quit thinking about my twinkle."
Hey, dip, quit thinking about my twinkle.
No.
Hey, dip, quit thinking about my twinkle.
Get on my business, like I'll stop.
The man tells Tanner to stop many times and tries to back away, but Tanner continues to advance. The man then tries to push the phone away from his face, but the prankster never expected what would happen next.
Hey, dip, quit thinking about my twinkle.
Stop!
The man pulls out a firearm, firing a bullet into Tanner's stomach and liver. Miraculously, Tanner survived. The prank's victim, who was identified as Alan Coley, was arrested. Alan was charged with various crimes. The shooting sparked a massive panic with shoppers. Alan was acquitted of aggravated malicious wounding, and instead was only convicted of one lesser firearms charge. In court, he said he had felt menaced by Tanner, who is 6'5". After the court hearing, Tanner said he didn't really care, while his parents disagreed with the not guilty verdict.
I support Tanner in whatever he decides to do.
In no way was his life on the line, and he did not need to have deadly force.
Causing many to criticize Tanner's parents. Alan was sentenced to time served, as he had already been in jail for 8 months. His concealed carry permit was also revoked. But many online said Alan should not have spent any time in jail at all, much like in the case of 11-year-old Aaliyah Zarante. In December 2023, this Texas girl was arrested at school and was taken into police custody.
You have to take her. This is crazy. crazy.
911 had received a prank call, which they had traced to Aaliyah's phone. The only problem was the police weren't the only ones being pranked, as Aaliyah claimed a friend had made the call without her knowing as a prank. It's basically a prankception. Aaliyah's friend pranked the police while at the same time pranking Aaliyah, likely not realizing Aaliyah would be arrested for this. But when she was finally released to her parents, they were appalled by what had happened.
Nothing, no type of paperwork as to what she was charged with. It was handled so unprofessional.
Saying that their daughter was treated way too harshly, the investigation continued for some time, but in the end, no formal charges were filed. But many said handcuffing an 11-year-old girl like this was wrong, and a massive overreaction from Texas police. But Aaliyah is not the only kid to be arrested for a prank. In November of 2025, 5 kids, including 2 13-year-olds, were arrested in California after taking part in what's known as the Door Kick Challenge. A prank which involves kicking a homeowner's door in the middle of the night, in an attempt to frighten or confuse them. The kids went on a spree doing this in Elk Grove, California, causing more than $680 in damages. Some of the kids wore ski masks or had their hoods up, causing scared homeowners to think they were about to be burglarized. The kids were soon arrested by police, and could face felony charges. These kids were lucky to be arrested. It only takes one homeowner to get the wrong idea. Someone could come outside with a gun if they think their home is being broken into, meaning these kids could have been injured or worse, all because of a dumb prank. An even dumber prank took place in June of 2025. A man who goes by the username Tommy Tough Knuckles decided to pull some pranks on businesses in Long Island, dumping large containers of food on his head, including eggs and beans.
I'm Tommy Tough Knuckles, and I'm the reason why these egg prices are so high! Bean challenge! Give me your 50K, we'll do more!
Leaving a massive mess for these businesses to clean up. He did this all for likes on social media, but a few days later, he was identified as Kyle Vasquez and was arrested at his friend's home. He was charged with various crimes, as well as for an entirely separate prank, which involved entering private homes and asking to use the bathroom. Kyle created a GoFundMe for his legal fees. He pleaded not guilty and was released without bail, but there hasn't been any updates since June, meaning that the case may still be ongoing. Comment below which of these pranks was the most outrageous. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and be sure to watch this video next.